Sometimes I just sit here and I like start recording, but I just don't know what to say or what to talk about. And it's like I come up with all these ideas in my head, and I just don't know which direction to go. And a part of me like really wants to say something, but I just don't know what to say. And I feel like at this point it's probably like, who cares about some guy who's just rambling on about crap? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? This is Aiden of Studio Raphael. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining me. Today is going to be a bit of a different video, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I've got something to say today, and I don't exactly know what that is, but it feels like there's a lot of people out there who are able to, bring in an audience through just talking about what they're going through. And I guess that's kind of just what I'm trying to do right now as well. Just talk about what it is that I'm going through and maybe not caring so much if people listen. That seems to be the biggest thing that holds me back, is whether or not people are listening. Why do I care so much? Why do I care so much if people listen to my thoughts and my words? Is it important? Maybe. I guess it is to me, obviously, if I'm always thinking about it. But is it really important in the grand scheme of things? Maybe not. Maybe the most important thing is just that I'm expressing myself. Maybe that's a good direction to go in, is the difference between expression and suppression. Suppression. What happens to me? What happens to you when you don't say the things that you need to say? Life tends to start feeling pretty small. You start to feel pretty small. I start to feel pretty small. When I don't say the things that I need to say, or just like do the things that I need to do and get the things that I need to off my mind and just like out into the world, whatever that means, even if it's just like saying it to the microphone by myself or like saying it to people in sessions or whatsoever. If it sits in my head, I start to feel small and I start to feel like I can't do anything and I can't accomplish anything. Going from that space of suppression to expression is a huge shift that I highly recommend to anyone and everyone. Stepping out of your comfort zone and putting yourself out into the world, saying what you need to say, doing what you need to do, expressing what needs to be expressed. Life is an expression, and if you don't express what you need to express, you're gonna suppress it. And suppression just leads to negative habits of thinking and depression. Expression, suppression, depression. They're all different kinds of pressions, but expression is kind of the best one, Expression is the one that at least feels the best out of all of them. Although I guess suppression and depression are an expression of depression. Anyways, the point being, expressing yourself is a great thing to do. Expressing yourself fully and wholeheartedly and as all aspects of who you are is probably the key to existing. It is probably the best way to be, simply being courageous enough to be yourself. Nowadays, it feels like a lot of people think they're being themselves. Nowadays, it feels like a lot of people think they're being themselves, but it's just some sort of persona to please the outer world. We're so fixated on views and all these things. And I guess in some ways, like, I am too. I would like to be impacting more people with what I have to say. And sometimes when nobody listens, it's like, okay, so am I saying anything that's even important? I want to feel important, but am I going to get that importance from the amount of views that I'm receiving? Or am I going to get that by simply knowing that I'm enough and showing up as enough? And therefore, everything I say comes from a sense of purpose and passion and growth and just being enough. And that can be enough in and of itself. There's this constant need for outer approval that exists in the modern world. We are creatures of connection. We are creatures of community. We do like a feeling of acceptance, but where are we trying to seek that acceptance from? Are we looking for acceptance from people who really can understand us, who really can get to know us? Or are we seeking acceptance from people who just don't vibrate at the same wavelength as us? Are we just seeking acceptance from people who don't vibrate as the same wavelength as us? Are we seeking acceptance from people who don't vibrate at the same wavelength as us? Holy, I don't know why that's such a tongue twister. You see, for me, it's just really learning how to show up as myself. I tend to take things a little too seriously sometimes, and I feel like by bringing a more fun edge to the videos, which is in a sense what I've always wanted, it will probably help me just relax into them and to express myself a little more openly. Expression, really, just like expressing yourself openly and honestly, being who you are in all areas of life. That is like, if I can give anybody the motivation for anything, the empowerment for something, it is to just show up as who you are, to know who you are, to own who you are, because that's all you've got. When you die, death is a great measure of perspective. When you die, are you going to die knowing that you've lived authentically to yourself? Or are you going to die feeling like you were trying to be someone else your entire life? And is that really what you want? Do you want to get to the end of your life dying and being like, man, I really wished I was more true to who I was, instead of trying to bend over backwards to please everybody around me and to look good for whatever social media platform is popular in 50 years from now? Society and life in the world, we're always constantly changing and evolving. We're always heading into new directions, into new horizons, expanding in different ways. But at the core essence of that, there's always you. There's always just that awareness of you, that being that is you. Are you going to honor that in all areas of your life? Or are you going to try and fix or change that? There's no fixing. You're absolutely okay just as you are. And if you need to hear that, I hope that helps. There's nothing to fix in you. There might be some false beliefs that need to fall away, but you were created perfect. You don't need me necessarily to tell you that you are perfect as who you are. I'm just here to remind you. I'm just here to say, hey, you're doing great. It's all coming along. And so long as you continue to trust your process, so long as you continue to challenge your limiting beliefs, to find that sense of peace and perfection within you, you're going to get there. We are perfectly imperfect beings that exist in an absolutely perfect creation. This creation is so astoundingly beautiful, and it just amazes me. The geometry, the way the trees form and bend and shape themselves, the way the leaves grow, and everything is just in such perfect harmony within itself. And then there's us who come along and think that we know better than the creation, but we can't know better than what we were created as. It's the knowledge. We think we are better than things. We think that because we have conscious awareness, that makes us better than others and better than other aspects of the creation. But it is all the creation. There is no better than the creation. You are simply the creation. And that is a beautiful thing, and we get to be the creation. We get to be the creation together. That's very cool. But are you honoring all aspects of yourself as the creation? Are you being who you are in this creation? You were created to be who you are. You don't get to choose that. You're not going around choosing what your passions are. You're just following what your passions are. Your passions were given to you as a blessing. And you get to discover those for yourself and pursue those and enjoy them and experience them as the creation. You are the creation experiencing itself, discovering itself, enjoying itself. You didn't wake up one day and go, I really love music and that is my choice. No, you just woke up and you're like, wow, music brings me so much joy, so much passion. I don't know why, but it just does. And I'm going to do it because that's what makes me happy. You didn't wake up and go, man, I really want to be a marine biologist because that's my choice. You're like, no, I wake up and I just see myself working with animals and being in the ocean and just exploring the great blue sea because that just brings me so much passion. All we're doing is just following a state of alignment. All we're doing is just following something that's innately within us, that was given to us, and pursuing it. We are pursuing what was already given to us. That's it. So getting in touch with that state of inner peace, inner love, inner knowing, that is the key to truly creating an aligned life with everything that you desire to be. And I want to help you get there. So my name's Aiden. This is Studio Raphael. If you're curious and doing more exploration around who you are, what brings you joy, what brings you passion, and where you can align with these things, shoot me a message. I do one-on-one coaching work. I don't really like the whole life coaching work, but what I do like is helping people align with themselves, is helping people align with who they truly are. Why? Because aligning with myself has brought me a lot of joy and passion, and I want to help others do the same. So if that makes you at all excited and you feel, some goosebumps, shoot me a message. Would love to hear from you. On the other end, what I also do is I work in music and self-expression. I host songwriting circles. I bring people together. It's really about creating a musical community and creating somewhere for people, expressionists, musical savants, and artists to explore aspects of themselves that they felt like they kind of had to hide. The world says to a lot of artists and musicians, you need to be like this, you need to fit into this box, otherwise you're not allowed to be successful. And honestly, that's kind of bullshit. So what I've decided to do is build my own community, and if you want to be a part of that, we would love to have you. All the growth and commitment to this process, it really encourages and empowers the other members of the community, myself included in this. It's a really exciting process. Man, just slipping up all over my words today. And yeah, it would just be great to have you there. So my name's Aiden. Once again, this is Studio Raphael, and I'm just appreciative to have you here. So I wish you luck in this journey of alignment and finding yourself. I hope you find it. And hopefully I'll see you around the studio sometime. Take care.